Hello there. It's good to have you again on today's episode of Health and Environment Insights. I am Kimoo and Dr. Today on the program, we'll be discussing how plastic pollution affects public health. And to join me today on this conversation, I have Dr. Oluwole Terebo. He is the Director, Pollution Control, Oyo State Environmental Protection Agency. Dr. Oluwole, it's good to have you again. I'm glad to be here. We're really to have you on the program. And so today we're going to have a conversation around plastic pollution as it affects our health, generally. So I'd like us to start this one. What exactly is plastic pollution? Breaking it down in the simplest form for us to understand.
Okay. Plastic pollution really starts by talking about plastic. I'm also simplify what it is. Plastic is made of three, there are three different types, okay? And we have the first one, ocean spaghetti. We have the plastic and the polyvinyl chloride. This are three types that falls what is called plastics, and they have their different reasons. Instead of phone and all of that, can use this one using the phone. Okay, that floats. Then the other one is what they were using the medicals and the automobiles. Making some of the odors of environment and in the medical we can circle. Then the polyvinyl chloride there, the one factor and choose in our ingredients in our home of pieces. So let's come back to pollution. Pollution, it really means altering the environment. When you degrade the environment in any form, in the water and air and the soil, then we see what is called pollution. Then when you're coming back to plastic pollution now, plastic pollution is the application of plastics into this media, land, and water.
Now, how is plastic so safe for our daily lives? How do we identify the types you enumerated, the different types we have that makes up what is called plastic? Now, how do we individually identify the type of plastic that is safe for use?
Well, when you talk about plastics, like I said, the one-time use plastics, they are not good for use because the low plastics, they are not biodegradable. They don't degrade, and when we use some of these waters, what is waste things we dispose. If this remains into the environment, because most of the users, they don't even know how to manage these plastics, and they throw into the environment, and these plastics, they find their ways into our water bodies, lakes, and streams.
Okay. Now, because we also want that there are some environmental risks that is actually constituted. Why is it still generally accepted if it constitutes some form of health hazard to us?
Well, that means took us back in the 50s. The number of plastics that we generate that time was about 2 billion tons. But at that time, But in a period of about 70 years later, we generate as support as we produce about 450 million pounds. So what you can see, it's not the trajectory. This is also the and it is not connected to cooperation, expansion. But I think we should know to ensure that we minimize the production, we minimize the use, and we encourage or we discourage the use of one-time testing that is relevant for organism parties. Because, yeah, no.
I think to really give us the better explanation, especially as it has the news of styrofoam. Because I know at some point, the Lagos State government had put a sanction on those food handlers that make use of that. Now, what else hasn't the styrofoam constitutes?
Of course, when this styrofoam gets separated streets, in low-income communities, possibly the ones in this young people farming, you know what that is? Yes. Not encouraging. When you want itself introduces some chemicals in people, some chemicals in the like, yeah, fine, possibly waters. There are gases. Gases like the carbon for outside, which is commonly referred to as carbon outside. Another chemicals and some chemicals. The skin is the air, which enter the atmosphere, enter and give rise to then ozone pollution, which is one of the global concerns today. Well, we're talking about pollution.
Let's take fast.
That is about when this styrofoam or any plastics gets into the global bodies, because when it falls outside, it passes through the drainage system into the nearby ingredients, into the nearby environments, find itself into the end of into the sea. What happens? We have lives looking together until the environment. Absolutely. Yeah. And what happens? The wildlife within the aquatic system ingest some of these substances. First answer for fishing. They ingest some of these substances. And some are even entangled, like the nets. When some of these fishermen are done with the fishing, the nets. Some of the nets in this environment, and some of these are particularly seen, they are entangled. And this is seriously and saying that.
Now, I know that the season of colonial society, where in the mini season, it's faster coaching. And I know that when you drive by or you take a walk, immediately after the room, once the rain is moving on, you discover that this plastic constitutes a high percentage of the waste that passes through those drains. Now, what that tells me is we're generating quite a handful of this plastic. Now, are there alternatives to using plastics that I think we have?
Well, before I go into the alternatives, I don't know whether in some point when you drive around, you discover that the plastics, we find out that there are great production. This all of these plastics. Absolutely, because the Ministry of Environment, and that's where we're trying to say agency, we still have up to change agency, then it's one of the NGOs. Through the support called for citizens, we are really working on zero plastics disposal around the states. Yeah. We have people People are taking plastic. You go to parties like before you see people really take those plastics. As I know, they recycle them. Yeah. So you see plastic entering our environment. It's important. You to understand government is working. They are working as an agency, we try to understand this software to ensure that we have zero plastic.
And that brings me to ask you about, as a director in your agency, what form of sensitization, public sensitization, are you engaged in? So people can know that this is what to do and not to do as handling plastic waste.
Most people of God, remember last year we had, we had a fund, 2024, on this plastic waste. And the fragrance of God, this year, we pledged to raise some of the facets of the serious situation. And we are sensitizing through the rules and all other forms of educational people. It's calling picture to social media. Is the fact we're taking that is what we're doing now to sensitize victims to ensure that people realize that plastics is not good for us. Plastic users is not good for us. So we should look for alternatives. So the alternative that we have that we can stop here is one, discouraging one-time use plastics like styrofoam, then plain. We're also trying to ensure that plastics, like I said, body finds plastics around are recycled, have been covered, recycled. So with that, people passing along plastic pollution, they passes these things. And obviously, they never take it out.
Now let's talk about the recycle, the recover, the recycle, and the reuse. In what we are doing now can difficult in one way, but it should ensure at some point here on this program we thought that we need to compartmentalize our waste. So how do we handle this plastics in such a way that it doesn't have to deal with our general waste and that's a source of recovery, right? Now, how do we recycle? Does your agency have recycling machines, or how do people recycle their just like, for instance? Because I happen to release and have my plastic put together. Now, when that is done, what do I do? What should I do?
Once you have your plastics, yes. What you do, we have different non-government agencies that attracts these people to set parents over here souls. That is the aspect of the core.
Also, we can actually generate money off it. Yeah, that sounds interesting to me. Actually, was also illegal. You just saw that. I mean, the mention of money would change that my interest. It's not how do I keep stuff illegal after the break will come back. We're going to shop right now. When we return, this conversation of plastic pollution will continue. Stay with us. If you're just joining us, this is Health and Environment Insights on OSRC television. And today I'll be within discussing plastic pollution as it affects any health. And to join me, please join with me on the conversation before everything. Dr. Oluwole Terebo, he is the Director of Pollution Control of the State's Environmental Protection Agency. Now, before we went on break, we were talking about recycling and selling. So it's generating income. Now, can you elaborate a little bit to develop on it?
When you return of losses, you get some discounts. I think these are the programs we have. We are working on. So that when you buy something that has, plastic, when you return, you get some discount. But in Nigeria, I think we have a certain factors like this. And I think this has them. This and said, when it's done, these are the sound, like, in which is only should you last, doesn't for it in this country, service, care, and it was the easy, see by morning, the yet when you find it's literally what you can relevant, just as I was organized, constitute connected, even navigation, the aquatic, valid reports, and all of this, if we are not told, we do not get these questions from you. Give us, they can recycle it, and it's going to be molded into something else. That you can benefit.
I know that if plastic is recycled, it can be made into plastic bags, shopping bags, buckets, all of the plastic products. Now, aside that, that's a part. Really, how do we say, we buy into this? Now, I'm also aware that there are some applications now in some parts of the country where on the click of your phone, you can request for your plastic recycling. It is skilled and they give you some units. Some people actually even monitor it and they take the plastic off you for all processing of recycling. Now, you have such programs or applications in use in your office as you're asking you have some such for working on that. You can to ensure seeing how it can be by some of these last things how it big among the parents. I will also point that. So they're working on this, like I say, we get some to SDN, so the plastic pollution and we are helping to follow us. You know, the plastic pollution, you will get honest. The mystery, this is follow it. So we are evolving and we are trying to see how we can make sure we say plastic pollution in these things. Now, I'm going to you. How can we reduce the plastic footprints in our lives?
Yeah, it's one of these like begging talented with lessons.
Then what else? We buy table water, we use take out when parties, to package our meals, we even use it. Children also use it as well. Now, most of the time when you have a party and you do not want people, it's not the time that is one where people see it. You can actually package food and give them to consume. And they're also aware that some people say it's actually not healthy to put such plastics in the microwave to warm your food. Now, give us a form of enlightenment in these life, so you can have a healthier life.
That's very personal. I mean, thinking about, you see, individual fasting is, should be hard to tell. The plastic, I you see, the plastic will open it right. So we even, which is a microwave. So the we have some chemicals. Like I told you the other time, I said polyethylene is a chemical, polypropylene is a chemical, vinyl chloride is also a chemical. All of these things are different types of chemicals, are different types of what can have a position can plastics. Now, this plastic, even in the cost of these plastics, we have you put in color, it's a chemical, they put in additives, these are chemicals. They put in fuel retardants, in the chemicals. They put in stabilizers so that they don't be easy to bring it. All of these are, infused into these plastics. When you, this, plastics, when you now, for instance, some people, when you microwave your food, and at high temperature, when you get these plastics, under high temperature, it's using some chemicals.
Well, we made aware that there are some of these plastics that have inscription on them that they're microwave safe.
I don't think there is any. There is an as long as they are made of polyethylene, polypropylene, or this they are there. I've mentioned some of these things that are added to these plastics, like fuel retardants, discouraging the use of it. Yes, because of the hazards. Because when you microwave or when you expose as these plastics to high temperature, there are some people when they're taking bottled water, they leave it in the price in the sun. In the way shouldn't take it anymore. You don't take it anymore because some chemicals must have leached into the water or to your food. So as some of these chemicals, they are highly deleterious to our health. They can induce cancer. They can cause hormonal disruption. They can cause, they can cause, reproductive dysfunction. Wow. They can cause cancer. Major cancer. So it is not advisable that we should avoid the use of plastics.
Okay, so Dr. Oluwole, as we're rounding off on this note, I'd like you to tell us what's your plan for this advocacy to get to even the rural communities you understand.
Yes, as you know, we cannot achieve this advocacy in a day. So we are already on it. And we are sensitizing people. We have regular news, we are analyzing last year health science, and we are reaching out to more people. And this is also another thing that happens in our ability, so potentially also, tell people understand what happens of plastics.
Thank you very much for your time. We appreciate this, and I look forward to having you on the program one more time. And so on this note, we're going to round off, and I'll let you know that you need to do better so to ensure that your wellness is your priority. I look forward to having you again on this program next week. See you, and it's bye for now.